I'm Arlin Geyer. A lot of people have trouble with the concept of bracketing exposures, so I thought I would demonstrate the concept for you here. First, you need to have your camera on a tripod. I would not use as flimsy a tripod as this, except my more substantial tripod is currently being used to support my video camera. So, put your camera on a tripod, set the exposure to manual, and get your camera aimed at your subject that you want to use as your test subject. And on this camera I do a half press of the shutter, and then I can see there's an LCD screen right here, and you need to know how to adjust your f-stops, or your aperture, and your shutter speeds independently of each other, which of course on manual is what is required in order to create the correct exposure. So on this particular camera, the aperture adjusts, the shutter speed adjusts with this dial right here, and the aperture adjusts with this dial here. Now some cameras, there'll be a button you have to press in order to access the, to adjust the apertures. Maybe hold a button down while moving another dial. You need to check your manual to see on your particular camera how that works. So I'm going to aim it and do my half press in order to activate the light meter, and then I'm going to dial my aperture and shutter speed until the needle matches, saying I have a correct exposure. Your camera may require that you look through the viewfinder to do that. It may show it on the back of on the LCD screen on the back of the camera. Mine shows it on the little LCD on the top. So right now it is balanced. The needle is pointing in the center, and my reading is a 1/15 of a second at f5.6, and I'm on ISO 100. Now for this exercise you will leave the ISO alone. Once you've got it set, leave it the same for all of your exposures. So if I'm going to bracket my f-stops, I'm going to do bracketing that's plus and minus 1/3 of a stop, 2/3 of a stop, and 1 full stop. And on this particular lens, f5.6 is as wide as it goes, so I can't open it up further than 5.6, so I need to start at a higher number, or a smaller f-stop than that. So I'm going to change my f-stop. Instead of 5.6, I'm going to change it to f8, which gives me 1 full stop that I can open it up from there. But that means, of course, that I have to adjust my shutter speed to compensate for that. So again, I'm going to half press to activate the light meter and dial in my shutter speed, and it goes to 1/8 of a second. If I don't want to do that long of an exposure, I can change my ISO, which I think I will do just in order to demonstrate that. So I'm going to move my ISO up to 400, which is 2 stops faster than 100. 100 to 200 is 1 stop, 200 to 400 is 1 stop. So now I can leave my aperture at f8 and increase my shutter speed to a 1/30 of a second, and I will now leave my shutter speed at a 1/30 of a second, and I'm going to start at this f8. I'm going to take a picture there. Then I'm going to, again, leave the shutter speed where it is, open up the aperture to 7.1, open up the aperture to 6.3, open up the aperture to 5.6. So I've just done 3 exposures, one at the meter indicated exposure, one 1/3 of a stop later, 2/3 of a stop later, and a full stop later. Now I'm going to go back to f8, and I'm going to close it down 1/3 of a stop from there, which is f9. Take that one, go down to f10, and go down to f11. Now I have done 1/3 of a stop darker, 2/3 of a stop darker, and a full stop darker. And that's how you bracket with f-stops. Exactly the same concept applies to doing shutter speeds, only there you would leave the f-stop constant and adjust the shutter speed. Thank you.